What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Jumbled, your favorite podcast about nothing. I'm Zach. Johnny's not here. We had some stuff we needed to do, prioritize. I should say me. I had some stuff I needed to do instead of recording jointly with Johnny this week. So we're going to do a Jumbled rewind, and we'll be back next week with some regularly scheduled podcasting for yo asses. But for now, we are going to travel back in time. Every podcast sort of has their beginnings, and growing pains and figuring their own way. So I thought we would go all the way back and enjoy the very first episode. If you're a new listener to the podcast, first of all, thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't done that already, go ahead and do that right now. That'd be great. And if you want to see where the podcast started, we're going to go all the way back to, what was it? I think it was actually, it was March. It was March of 2017 when this podcast started. It was me and Joe. If you guys aren't OG listeners, you don't know about Joe. He's been on the podcast a couple times recently in the Johnny era. But Joe and myself started the podcast, went for about 36 weeks. And then, Joe went ahead and, went Splitsville on me there. And then, I was left to pick up the pieces, and luckily Johnny stepped in and, helped me pick them up too. So, and no, we haven't looked back. Don't even think about Joe anymore, honestly. Joe, small footnote in the no, I'm just kidding. Joe is obviously a very integral part with this podcast. We do appreciate him, and the banter is always sort of fun between me and Joe because it sort of just gets ridiculous. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, this is the very first episode of Jumbled. Allow ourselves to introduce ourselves. Hope you guys enjoy it. Talk to you soon. Bye. We've had one heck of a night. We'll get into that later. But this is our introduction to our podcast. Pretty excited about it. Wanting to see how this thing goes. Do apologize if there are any distant meows in the background. There's a locked out cat currently.
And he's staying there.
We're trying our best to reduce all the noise. Right now we're recording in Joe's basement. This is the first time we've ever recorded down here.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of chilly.
It
wasn't at first, but now it is.
And we turned the space heater off to try to reduce the noise.
There's no insulation.
Mm-mm.
There's no heat down here either.
Yeah. So from everything that I've read up on, I'm no audio expert by any stretch of the imagination, but from what I've read up on, this is not conducive to good audio. So do apologize if if it feels a little bit barren, like we're doing a podcast in a cave. We sort of are.
Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah, except for the stalactites and stalagmites.
I thought I saw one in the corner.
Might be.
So this is like I said, this is Jumbled. This is our podcast. We're really excited about it. Basically, the premise of our podcast is just sort of open forum. Mm-hmm. Anything goes. Most anything goes, at least for now, until that podcast money starts rolling through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, making all that money.
And I don't have to work my job anymore.
I don't think that's how podcasts work.
I mean, if you're Joe Rogan.
That's true.
He probably could get by with just podcasting.
Yeah, but you see, Joe Rogan has a name and a brand, and we're just two schmoes.
It's true, but maybe one day.
One day, yeah. I'm not being a downer, just, being realistic.
Oh, sure. It'll take time. It'll take time to get any kind of project from just two unknown dudes going anywhere.
Gotta
But
get an audience.
Yeah.
But really, the podcast, the name really says it all. Jumbled. When we've done our previous recordings, it's really just been about everything. So Jumbled kind of came together naturally because there's no, specific thing that we're going to be talking about. It can be all over the place.
Yeah.
Jumbled topics. Might in the future try some skits or some characters. We have a friend that might come on and do some things, and have some other guests on in the future too. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
The future is bright. I know that we're just starting. This is going to be obviously a weekly thing for us, releasing every Wednesday. And I'm not sure if this is coming out this coming Wednesday or the Wednesday after. We're sort of still rounding out things.
Next year, this summer, who knows?
We're still trying to get the specifics down. So regardless, this will be released on a Wednesday. And then from there on Wednesdays. Yeah. So you can look forward to that. Let's get into what we went through tonight.
Okay, so we first wanted to start recording about 4 hours ago. So you came over, and then I had the awesome idea that we could go and get an audio amplifier or a headphone amplifier, which will amplify the audio into headphones, so you can adjust multiple inputs, multiple outputs from a single input. But so we got that, and we got what we thought was enough 3.5 millimeter to
quarter inch
adapters and splitters and whatnot, but we didn't.
Nope. We're jerry rigging this thing right now. Basically, how this is supposed to work. We got the headphone amplifier has one input, so we have a quarter inch adapter going in with a 3.5 millimeter splitter, and then we're running our auxiliary from our microphones to that. And then,
quarter inch is what you put in like a guitar, what you put in an amp, all that stuff. I wouldn't have known that before tonight. It's the big one.
Yeah, and so luckily Joe had he had one already lying around his house, so we're able to use that. Although it is falling apart, it is mono. It's not stereo.
It's sick. It's got that kissing disease.
It's got mononucleosis, bro. So anyway, we met up at Guitar Center. We got our amplifier, and then
I was pumped.
Yeah.
I was like, because we've been having, so the reason we got it is because even right now, we have this like little hum going on. This little hum, like kind of little squeak kind of thing, which isn't too bad.
If we're talking, I can't even hear it.
No.
So I'm trying to keep the talking going.
Just keep going, because I don't want to, but we were trying to solve that problem. And when we first hooked it up, and because we didn't have enough adapters, that's part of the story too, but when we first hooked it up, we couldn't hear it. We couldn't hear that hum. And then I went upstairs to get my computer charger. I come back down, and the hum came back.
It very well could be the splitter, because every other time we've had issues with humming, we've been using the splitter. And the fact that we have to use the splitter again tonight because we don't have enough quarter-inch adapters could be a variable. So maybe next time.
Could be because I'm using Turtle Beach headphones.
Hey man, I'm wearing like what is it, like Street by 50, like 50 cents, like headphone brand or something like that.
Yeah.
So basically, anyway, we
did we tell the whole story?
No, we told the premise of it. Yeah. Basically, we
went to Guitar Center. We got the headphone amp. We came home.
Yep.
Came to my house, to my basement.
Set it all up, and then I was like, we don't have enough adapters. So we started looking online. I was like, oh, Walmart's got it. But it's, a little bit, yeah, it's further away. So we went to Kmart, which if anybody has been to Kmart in the past.
You probably haven't.
No, but if you've been there, if you, for some reason, have been to Kmart in the past 10 years, you will know what we experienced. It wasn't as barren as I thought it would be.
No.
Most Kmarts, when you walk in, they're like halfway closed. Like you can see the people at the cash registers taking all their personal belongings.
There were 4 people there. There were more employees than there were customers.
It's true.
and they were looking like they were trying to find things to do.
Yeah.
Because you know damn well they did everything. When they opened the store, nobody came in all day, and they're just trying to find something to. So they're like putting new end caps up and stuff like that, or refolding the towels.
What are end caps? What are those?
End caps. It's what you put at the end of the row. It's like a display. Like, so sometimes there's batteries there. Sometimes there's like a toy or whatever, something to draw your eye and bring you towards that aisle. And then,
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, man. It's the industry lingo. I worked at Walmart for a summer.
That's true. Collecting carts.
And at Gordman's over a holiday season.
Okay. I never worked at I worked at a Hollister.
You shirtless? Were you shirtless the whole time?
I was that guy.
You're the model?
I got fired, though, when I took my shirt off. They saw I did not have six-pack abs. It's not true. I worked there in college when I was at Western Kentucky University. Mm-hmm. I was there for a semester.
Oh, dude, you were perfect because you had your long hair during that point.
I did, but I worked there for about a month and a half, and that last half, I just didn't go.
They saw that your torso was about 3/4, like your chest was about 3/4 of your torso.
It was more that
you have like a quarter is your abs, and then 3/4 is your torso.
It was all
your chest.
It was actually because though I was skinny, I didn't have abs, and it was just all on there in the Crayola markers.
You're drawing them on
my abs.
That can only go so far, man. You can only pull the wool over people's eyes.
So
once you walk outside of that Hollister store, all of the lights are because it's dark as shit inside of a Hollister.
Yeah, that's why. That's one reason I stopped going because it paid terribly and I didn't give any hours. But also, it's dark in there, and it smells like whatever Surfer Jack cologne that you literally go around once an hour, and you spray all of the clothes.
Yeah.
You spray all the clothes. Like you go...
You spray it with fragrance.
You spray it with a fragrance, whether it's male or female. You walk around the store, and you hit each...
Holy shit.
Each area.
Holy shit.
And so, that's why, as soon as you walk into a mall, you're like, this mall has a Hollister. Because you can smell it. Yeah. It's too much. I couldn't hand ramp or on ramp.
Depends which way you're headed.
And I didn't have enough Hollister gear. It's like I was wearing the same polo every day. And
it was American Eagle.
Like, Joe, you can't wear that. I'm like, prove it.
Pay me more, bitch. So anyway, we went to Kmart. And
we're still talking about that.
Yeah. Well, we got into it with end caps and then started talking about random things. You will find, side note, you will find many times we start off on a tangent with this podcast and we intend to continue with it, and then something else comes up and we leave it completely behind. Yeah. So if at any point in time you think we're not coming back around, then you know what? Sorry. Mm-hmm. That's just sort of. I mean, Joe is diagnosed with having just ADD.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not hyperactive.
No.
I have not been.
Thanks for outing me, by the way. Appreciate
you said it before in other previous pre-podcast podcasts.
No, I told you that in confidence.
Sorry, man.
It affects 50% of the people in this basement. Why don't you just wipe your nose on the? You're just gonna go. Or you just smelling the mic because it's still got that brand new mic smell. We're sporting Blue Yeti mics, by the way. If anybody want to know?
Yeah, if anybody's looking to get into the podcast game,
I'll sell you mine for $200.
Yeah, I've got a beachfront property in Connecticut or in
Connecticut,
not Connecticut.
Those beaches of Connecticut.
I got a beachfront property in Oklahoma that I'm willing to sell you if you want to pay $300 for my microphone.
Beachfront property.
It doesn't exist.
So anyway, we were at Kmart. Kmart does not have the adapters.
No.
So we're like, okay, let's go to Walmart.
Hold on, I want to say something about Kmart before we move on, because we're not going to come back to Kmart, because nobody comes back to Kmart.
Yeah, that's true.
Kmart had a feeling in it tonight, And if you want to experience this yourself, then go to any reasonably stocked Kmart and just walk around. There's nobody working.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are a few people working, but they're doing bullshit stuff that they didn't really need to do in the first place. It looked like how I imagine North Korea propaganda stores to be, where it's full of shit. Like, everybody in the street is starving, and this store is just full of shit for all of the people to come and take pictures of the great things that North Korea has going on.
It wasn't that stock though, in all like the electronics. Like there was a lot missing there, other than like updated electronics.
Electronics are pretty expensive though too.
That's true.
So that made sense, but like,
and with that being one of the last 10 Kmarts
ever.
Yeah. Well, they're also owned by Sears, or the same company owns Sears, and they're closing a lot.
I heard recently that Sears is getting some help from some kind of angel investor or something like that.
Who?
I have no idea. Somebody who doesn't give a shit about their money, apparently.
What does the K stand for?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I remember the heyday of Kmart when my mom would be like, all right, we got to go pick something up. Let's go to Kmart. Like, that was the first.
For that blue light special?
Yeah. It was like, we would go to Kmart before we'd go to a Walmart, and we'd go to a Walmart before we'd go to a Target. Now it's completely flipped.
I go to Target before I go either.
I love Target.
Target's the best.
Sorry, I sniffed into the mic again. I'm still getting used to this podcast stuff.
No, we just, everybody wants to hear all your, aside from your words, your spoken words, you want to hear all the other noises.
The phlegm
that you can make.
Yeah.
I've heard in Podcast Digest, I read that that's really the number one thing that listeners want to hear.
Podcast Digest. Do you subscribe to that?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes once a week. It's printed.
Just like on a flyer, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it double-sided?
It's a newsletter kind of thing.
They're printing it double-sided now?
No, it's 2 pages. It's stapled together. And it's one of those lazy staples. It's not like at a 45-degree angle on the top. It's like where it's just like vertically, or it's like 3 inches in.
Yeah.
And like you can't even read the second page hardly in the top left corner.
At least it's not paper clipped.
That's true.
They recently stopped doing that, right?
Paper clipping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were doing it like a couple years ago. Paper clips everywhere. So we left Kmart. We didn't find.
Are we still talking about that?
No. Well, we're moving away from Kmart now.
Okay.
We didn't find what we wanted at Kmart, so we decided to mosey on over to Walmart because I had misread what I saw online. That not this specific Walmart, but that Walmart might have what we're looking for. They did, but you had to buy it in a pack with a bunch of other cables,
other splitters. Yeah, it's like one of those universal splitters, or like kind of how you can buy those universal power adapters.
Yeah,
where it's like it'll power whether you've got an Inspiron or whatever. But yeah, it had what we needed, but it had too much.
Yeah, it was like $9. It's like, why am I going to spend $7 more than I need to spend?
It's like
for bullshit that I don't need.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't go to the store to get, I wouldn't buy cat litter because it's on sale without having a cat.
I'm not going to lie, though. As we're walking out, I was like,
maybe we should just buy it. Well, we needed
fucking
3.
buy it.
We needed 3.
Maybe just go spend $27, put it on my credit card or something. Like, that was my thought process.
I mean, that's true. We could also, I'm sure we could get them off Amazon for at least a third of that price and have it by the next time that we want a podcast.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. We actually only needed 2.
Needed to.
Yeah.
Well,
2 quarter-inch adapters for our outputs.
Yeah.
That's all we needed because we already got the input all squared.
Yeah, but it's the mono.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We need the 2. So you could have the 1. You could just throw the mono away.
Okay.
Anyway.
I got you.
Anyway, so we went to Walmart. Yep, beard scratch. Phlegm, all that stuff. We went to Walmart. They didn't have... everybody's been to Walmart. It's the same thing everywhere. They didn't have what we needed. So we decided to start looking around for things, and we stumbled upon a place called McDonald's I believe it's an Irish food place.
McDonald's.
Oh,
before that, we stopped at the neighborhood Walgreens.
It's true. We were just desperate at that point.
Just hoping.
Hail Mary.
To be honest.
Come on, Walgreens, baby. Pull through.
They did have some electronics, but not nearly. And we could have gone across the street to CVS.
That's all the same
literally across the street, just north.
They're all across the street.
I could have thrown a baseball from the Walgreens to the CVS.
I wonder who's building first, or like who has the idea first. Because if it's like CVS, then Walgreens is like CVS just built a place.
Yeah. Just
we need to like
ping pong,
catty corner or like they're always next to each other.
They got to be within eyesight.
Yeah,
I gotta watch what they're doing over there.
What
are they doing?
Never know what they're doing.
But you know how I can know? Build one across the street.
Well, and there used to be Rite Aid. Do you remember Rite Aid?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have Rite Aids anymore.
Not that I know of.
Last one I saw was in New Albany, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shout out to my hometown. Oh, I should say, by the way, we are Kansas City transplants from southern Indiana.
Yep.
A couple hours apart, but we went to school in Iowa together.
Yep. Graceland University.
Yeah, we said our goodbyes to the great state of Indiana, and I think it's probably better now that Mike Pence is out of it. But now Mike Pence is sort of like sitting second seat. He's second chair in the government.
He's still in it though. I would rather him be back there having influence just on a state rather than a whole all 50.
It's true.
It's awful. Anyhow, so.
We don't need
McDonald's.
We don't need to get political on our first podcast.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually. But
well,
let's take a hot second to stop and talk about our sponsor for today's podcast. You guys know them. You guys love them. It's Audible. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled and get your free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. We've talked about them over and over again. If you guys have not yet taken advantage of the opportunity that is in front of you right now, it's a golden opportunity. Please do. You get a free book. I mean, a free audiobook. You know, I don't know how else to explain it. You sign up for the trial, you get the free audiobook, and then anytime within the 30 days, you can cancel, and you'll get to keep your audiobook. It's a free audiobook, guys. You'll get to keep it, you'll get to listen to it over and over again, and you know what? That sounds like a win-win situation to me. The audiobook that I'm going to recommend for this month is Girl Logic by Eliza Schlesinger. If you guys have not heard about Eliza Schlesinger, it's a mouthful of a name. She is a comedian. Super, super funny. This book, this audiobook just talks about how women's minds, how they work, and how sometimes women can obsess over details that men wouldn't even notice. She talks about a characteristically female way of thinking that seems to be contradictory and circuitous at the same time, but is actually complicated and highly evolved. I think we can all agree that when you think about male versus female minds, if you had to pick the brain that is more highly evolved, you're going with the woman. I mean, I'm just thinking personally, I can only do one thing at a time. My wife does 14 different things while I'm trying to figure out the one thing that I'm doing. So anyway, that's the audiobook that I'm going to recommend this month. But hey, if you guys don't want to listen to Girl Logic by Eliza Schlesinger, they have over 180,000 different audiobooks that you can choose from. And it's not just comedy. They have audiobooks on everything. They even have Audible originals now that you can check out. So there's going to be something that you can find and dig into and really get something out of. And you should really go take a look at them. They got a lot to offer. And now that I have plugged that, I will just tell you one last time. Head over to audibletrial.com/jumbled. Let's get back to the podcast.
Yeah, so 4 hours ago we wanted to start, and just right before midnight we came back and threw in the towel and just put all the gear together that we had. Mm-hmm. And so this is
Here we are.
Here we are.
So I mean, it is beginning to be springtime, so
Mhm.
I wouldn't be opposed to
Recording outside next time.
recording outside. We'll just do it like down by the Missouri River or something like that. Yeah,
That sounds good. Among nature.
yeah. Babbling brooks and all that stuff in the background.
No, what were you going to say? You wouldn't be opposed to?
I wouldn't be opposed to recording down here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have plans to better the space that we're in, but with it being, starting to get warmer, the basement will feel a little bit more hospitable.
Yeah. By the way, my cat has been meowing this entire time.
I haven't heard him.
You haven't? I just heard him again.
Like I said, I'm trying to keep this going. I'm trying
Can't
to keep
hear the cat, can't hear the buzz, just keep talking.
You know what? It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same mantra that I have with my car.
Yeah.
So if I just turn the radio up and I can't hear the rattling, I can't hear the squeaking, it's not happening.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not happening.
It ain't happening.
I choose not to believe that it's happening.
I was driving today, and I'd heard this noise in my car before, and I just got, it's a 2-year-old used car, but I just got it in October, and I heard this clicking sound inside the car, and I'd heard it before, and I was like looking all over the place, couldn't figure it out. Last time, the noise just stopped. Today, I was like, I'm going to find out where that's coming from, and it was my sunglasses up in the sunglasses holder, just rattling around, and it sounded like I was like pushing on the dashboard. I was like banging on my glove box, and so now it's like I probably caused some future noises from just rattling the stuff around.
Sure, that's a very Joe Oxley story. Me and Joe were roommates up at college.
I'm the kind of person that says, "Where's my cell phone?" as I'm holding my cell phone.
Sure.
Or like, "Where's
I've done that with
my
like
lunchbox?"
I've done that with my sunglasses over my eyes.
Yeah.
I've literally done that kind of stuff. Like it seriously happens, and it happens more lately. I don't know what that's all about, but
I thought I stopped the noise by raising up this cord. It's like, oh,
nope, sure didn't. So Joe, like he loses everything. It's good. Joe,
I'm raising my arms like,
this is
the
a
old,
very visual thing. Right
the old
now.
the old TV shows TV antennas where you would like
You got to position a certain way.
we need some foil. I'll be right back.
I did hear this. I mean, nobody can hear this high pitched hum sound.
No,
it doesn't come through.
It's our burden to bear.
Yeah, and hopefully there's some kind of an update for your computer. Because I'm reading online that this is a very Apple specific
Is Apple specific
thing. So if there's any updates, go ahead and apply those after we're done. But
when should I start recording?
Oh man, what time is it, dude? Oh shit, it's 1:15 midnight, dude.
Well, the good thing is that we both have to get up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's the silver lining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
What are you doing tomorrow?
What am I? What do you want to call in sick? Is that what you're saying?
No, I just don't want to pack all my shit up.
Oh yeah, you're welcome to leave it here.
I might just.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's so much hauling this stuff around that I'm just like, it takes 20 minutes to break it down, and then I got to get home, and then I'm likely just going to put it up because I like looking at it.
Let's talk about the seriousness of your case and your backpack.
It's pretty legit, dude.
Yeah, okay,
I got all kinds of stuff.
I'm not saying it's not legit. I'm just saying, like, it looks like you're walking around with what they call the football. His mic goes into one of those, like plastic cases. Sturdy.
Yeah.
Hardy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what
case. And it's got the foam in it.
Yeah.
Like, like if, like when James Bond opens up his briefcase and there's his little pistol
gadgets,
just supported in there, and there's a pin and like a whatever device that will explode or kill.
Oh, yeah.
Your mic just sits in there perfectly.
Yeah, it does. My wife bought that for me, nicely enough, for Christmas. And it's like Joe said, it's got the padded interiors. But what's nice about it is they're all set into these rectangular prisms that have perforated edges, so you can just rip out whatever little rectangular pieces you want for it to fit whatever you want to put in there. So right now I've been putting my pop filter and my mic and my windscreen and what else? My splitters.
Your microphone lubricant.
Mic lubricant, yep. And
the Sheen oil.
the Sheen oil, yep, that's it.
That's not to make it shiny. That's made by Martin Sheen.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
not Charlie Sheen.
No.
We don't want Charlie Sheen.
You don't want Charlie Sheen. No, you want Martin Sheen, well known for his West Wing performance as President Bartlett, Jeb Bartlett.
You know what's funny? Getting back on the Sheen thing.
Yeah.
A few years ago, Charlie Sheen was quoted as saying he has tiger blood.
Yeah.
I guess all tigers have HIV.
Too soon. Or not too soon. Too harsh? It's Charlie Sheen.
It's Charlie Sheen, man. He's doing coke off strippers' asses.
Is he?
5 years ago.
Oh. It's too bad he's not still doing it.
He probably is.
He might be.
He probably is. He's probably just throwing a Jimmy on, man.
Throwing a Jimmy on?
Yeah, man. The lingo for rapping your weasel.
So he's got a pet weasel now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's wrapping it. Is it cold?
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
It's the wintertime.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and he's living in, like, Saskatchewan because he just hates himself.
Where's Saskatchewan?
Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Saskatchewan and on and on. Johnny would be very upset. Johnny, I know you're going to hear this.
I can name a few things in Canada.
What's poutine?
Gravy and French fries.
No, I was figuring out in my brain, and then I figured out what the name was.
Were you answering in Jeopardy style?
What is poutine?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, did you hear, as like last week, Alex Trebek, like there was a hip hop, like
he rapped
them all.
I didn't.
We
saw
still
the headline.
hood rich. We still hood rich.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I saw the headline. I was like,
and
I like Jeopardy. I like rap. Don't like those combined.
There was
not interested enough.
There was it was just Panda, you know, that song Panda.
Panda.
Yeah, but it just said Panda like 8 times, and Trebek was like, Panda, 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 Panda.
He obviously never having heard the song before. Alex
Trebek listens to like old trumpet music. Like that's it. Like old, jazz trumpet.
Old Satchmo.
It's like really old school, like 20s.
Where'd you get that trumpet? Just out of nowhere.
I keep it with me.
You always carry a trumpet ready to go.
Keep it. Yep. Huh. Keep it holstered. I have a trumpet holster.
Much like a cell phone on the belt. You got no.
Surprised you didn't hear me wailing in Kmart earlier. It's the perfect place to play trumpet. Is that when we
got separated and you were trying to find me?
Yeah. Dude, where'd you get your trumpet?
I didn't tell you. I also have a trumpet.
Holy shit, man! You gotta be bullshitting me.
I don't have a holster. I have a backstrap. Kind of like
okay.
You know, when a guitarist will sling their guitar around the back and just kind of hangs on the back.
Or how oh gosh, what's his name? Rocky. The actor. Yeah. Sylvester Stallone.
Rocky Horror Show?
No, Sylvester Stallone, how in that the one movie where he's I can't even remember. God, why? I'm horrible at podcasting.
What movie?
He's like a renegade.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, he's got like, Charlie Fuck Sheen. Off, Joe. Anyway.
It's not my fault you can't remember the show. I know it. There were several sequels to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like, I'll give you a hint. It sounds like something that Alex Trebek was rapping about might eat. And I will take that answer in the form of a question, please. And I will give you the count of 5.
Rambo?
Woo! Good job. I like it.
Bamboo. Yeah. I get you.
Bamboo. Rambo. Not really. Did I say rhymes with? That's not really.
Sounds similar is what you said.
I mean, I feel like
it's got the
if it was in a rap song, it would be rhymed together. Bamboo, Rambo. I just did it.
By Billy Joe. His name is Billy Joe the rapper.
Billy Joe the rapper. Yeah.
Rambo, Bamboo.
Rambo, bamboo, I'm a banjo.
Banju.
Think-
Banju.
Ban-
They're anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
So.
There's some crazy anti-Semitic stuff going on right now.
There is.
Here in Missouri, in New York, those
Was that
headstones.
Was that considered anti-Semitic
I mean, they knocked over Jewish headstones, and there's been
in Kansas City?
Not in
No,
Kansas City.
the one you're talking about, the shooting in Kansas City, where the guy went into the bar and he shot
that's a
Muslims.
that's a
Or he
totally
thought they were Muslim,
He
or-
thought they were Muslim, but they were Indian.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
They're
totally
Hindi.
separate.
They were probably Hindi if they were anything.
Okay.
But anyway, that's a separate thing.
Well, they're from India.
Right.
I was talking about their geographic. I don't know the right words for that.
No, I'm just saying, like, Hinduism. That's
Oh,
what
okay,
that's
so-
what Indian
yeah.
people from India typically. It's mostly Hindu.
So, what are people typically from United States?
It's a melting pot, man.
Yeah.
So they could be anything, but
It's true.
most
Yeah.
people like to stereotype.
But,
anyway.
but there was, I forgot where here in Missouri, but there was, they knocked over some headstones, and they were headstones of Jewish people. And then it also happened in New York, and there have been bomb threats to different Jewish schools and communities and things, none of which have been, I guess, valid because they didn't find anything. But the world's crazy, man. Why do you got to do that?
I don't know. It's nuts, and that's why I think if Donald Trump weren't such a severe psychotic when it comes to, foreign people of foreign nationality or other religions, if he weren't so insane about it and adding fuel to the fire, I don't think that we'd be seeing as much. He's made it almost acceptable in a way, which it's not. It never will be acceptable. But in the eyes of, you've got the guy who's leading a nation saying that, he didn't say it outright, but it was a Muslim ban that he was trying to put through. It was a Muslim ban.
Yeah.
It wasn't to.
Well, here's the thing. It's not just people of other nationalities, just people other than him.
Yeah.
He literally is just looking out for himself. He's always defending how great of a victory he had, how much he won. When the election's been over now since November.
Yeah, he brought up Hillary Clinton last week.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I mean, set that stuff aside. That's already done, and get to the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, we said we weren't going to get political. Where did that come from?
I don't know, man. I want to add one more thing to that. On Facebook, everybody's so crazy on Facebook nowadays, which is sort of I don't like getting on anymore, but
yeah, I have hardly been on at all.
Yeah.
And I got into the trap of, responding to people that I don't agree with, and partly because, I mean, okay, it's going to sound like I'm being very biased by saying that the things that they were posting were ridiculous. I mean, they were ridiculous. Like they weren't, founded in facts. They were, but I was responding in not the most, positive way. I wasn't, making a conversation. I wasn't, trying to anyhow, but yeah, I've been off of it.
It's such a polarizing thing. Like you feel like you have to say something.
Yeah.
Like,
because it's so personal.
It's personal, but at the same, like for the sake of, argument back before gay marriage was legalized, there are people who had their comments and stuff, and I'd be quick to jump on it and say, hey, stop being a fucking idiot. Like if they want to go and, say I do and then get divorced 5 years later, they need to have the same rights that we're having right now. And it's sort of the same way with all this bigotry and hatred that has been popping up recently, very recently, since I would say more so since the election has ended.
Yeah.
I find myself not being able to keep my mouth shut on certain things. One guy, he was trying to defend Trump, and I don't know how you defend Trump, but he was saying like, what was it? He was talking about how Hillary wouldn't have been a better option for America.
Yeah.
And how, she was, I don't know, she had a different agenda, and, Trump wanted to come in and, push forward his policies. And I responded like, what policies? We never heard shit about policy during the debates or anything. They would get down to asking questions about specific policies. Yeah. And then he would say, real quick before I answer that, emails. Yeah. And then he would jump off that into some weird fucking tangent and then never circle back around.
Here's how he would say. He said the policies are going to be great. I'm going to be tremendous. I'm going to do great things. I'm going to make America great again. But not really putting forth any policies other than I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to prosecute Hillary. Mm-hmm. And
Obamacare.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of Obamacare without putting in a replacement. And getting back to Facebook too, like I think a lot of people think that Facebook and social media is changing us, but I would disagree. I think we're the same people that we were before. Mm-hmm. We had social media. I mean, Facebook is really only, 10, 11 years old. Yeah. I've been on it for like nine years, I think, is how far back it goes for me. Because I remember in like 2006 when it was introduced to Graceland. But anyhow, I think it's really just, it's showing more how people are, how they actually are. It's not changing.
Right.
It's bringing them a platform to just tell their views. Yeah, but, and I mean, everyone has the right to do that, but it's just like it's either black or white. I mean, it's divided.
Yeah, there's no gray.
There's no gray.
There's increasingly less and less gray. And I saw a video that made me sort of long for the old days of the Republican Party, which is, it's weird, but Republicans talk about the heyday, with Reagan and all that stuff. And most people think back and, whether they're Republican or Democrat, you don't have many bad things to say about Reagan as a person.
Didn't like his movies.
He wasn't a great actor.
No.
But I saw a video that it was a debate, and they were talking about immigration. And it was Reagan and Bush. Okay. And this was where Bush was running or Reagan was running for re-election, and Bush took it.
Yeah. HW.
Yeah, HW.
So that have been in 88. 87 he won the election, 88.
Mm-hmm. Right. So they were debating in 87. Yeah. So
good year.
It was a good year.
30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And
we were born that year.
Man, that was a good year, dude.
Yeah. Would have been elected not long after your birth.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. August, and then he would have been 3 months later or something like that.
Yeah.
But they were talking about immigration, and they were saying things like, we need to support our neighbor. Mm-hmm. People who aren't different from us aren't necessarily bad.
Yeah.
And it's like all the same viewpoints that I hold. Yeah. Like maybe I'm more of an old school Republican. Like that's how it made me feel. Like I still care for social issues, but the way they were speaking about something like immigration, I was like, I can really relate to this, and it resonated with me. But it's flipped so far for both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being honest.
I mean, I think there's a huge shift today in the political parties. Mm-hmm. And I think now more than ever, I think in the next couple elections that an independent is going to continue to be prominent, like Bernie was. He was unlike any other candidate. I think because some of the other like Ralph Nader and who's the
Ross Perot?
Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Who's Ralph Nader?
Ralph Nader, he's libertarian.
I don't know, but and Rand Paul, and
Rand Paul,
his dad, Mr. Paul.
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul, is that it? But yeah, I mean, those candidates who were kind of the outsiders didn't really do much. But, you know, Bernie Sanders, who is an outspoken socialist.
Sure.
You know, if it weren't for...
He's a democratic socialist.
Yeah. But, yeah, you know, you think about how things could have been different, but you know, there's nothing we can change about what happened.
Right.
But just have to be...
It's how we react.
Yeah, look to the future, see what we can do to change.
Right. And I think with how it used to be where the parties could find some common ground on a certain issue. And now you see they've separated so far that there's literally nothing that they agree on. Yeah. So the further they spread apart, the wider they make this space where somebody can slide on in. And I think you're right, where an independent's going to slide in. He's going to say, look, pro-Second Amendment, have your guns. Pro-abortion, if you want to have an abortion, whatever. He's going to, you know, this candidate is going to have something where more level-headed people who aren't on the extreme of either side, or maybe people who don't care to be on the extreme side anymore, but feel like they're forced to be because they either have to pick Republican or Democrat, it's going to fill a void. Yeah. And I think you're right within the next couple of elections.
I don't think and I don't think it should be so binary. I don't think it's okay, you're either Republican or you're Democrat. There's got to be common ground and values and
well, it's how it should be.
Yeah, it's absolutely how it should be.
That's how it should be, man.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's pushing. It's getting late. It's 12:30. Yeah. I don't know how long we've been going. Probably about an hour-ish, somewhere in there. 50-something minutes.
2 hours.
2 hours. Anyway, I think this could be the part where we wrap it up. So thanks for listening, everybody. I've had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been fun.
Yeah.
So you can find us at SoundCloud /Jumbled Podcast.
Correct.
We're also on Twitter.
Twitter.com/Jumbled Podcast.
We're also on Zanga. You can find that.
You can't find it. It probably does exist, but I don't know.
You can. It's all archived, all the old ones. Yeah, I just can't figure out. Oh, I did. Yeah, I found mine. Scary place.
It's like the deep web.
Yeah, you need to know Linux and all sorts of weird stuff to get
there. We're also on Instagram. Instagram.com/Jumbled Podcast.
We're not actually on Zanga, but we are on Instagram.
Make sure to head on over to iTunes, leave a rate and a review for us.
Yeah.
It'd be much appreciated.
Yeah.
Also, if you have any questions, you can feel free to email us at jumbledpodcast@gmail.com. Let me make that clear again. Jumbled Podcast.
JUM as in Mary. Bold.
BLED.
Podcast, POD cast.
Yep, at gmail.com.
And that's the @ with the circle around the A. Because, putting that T there would just be so hard. And gmail.com. That's Google. If you guys don't know, Google provides emails.
What?
Yeah.
Weird.
Which that first came out in 2003 or 4. And it was
Gmail?
exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to get invited.
It's true. It's sort of like the glory days of Facebook, too.
Yeah.
Getting back into Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, man. So,
but
Twitter,
anyway,
Instagram.
Twitter, Instagram. We are on Facebook. If you are on Facebook,
yeah.
Facebook.com/Jumbled Podcast. It's all Jumbled Podcast. If you want to find us anywhere, just search for that.
Google it.
And,
I don't know. It might pop up. Who knows?
Yeah. It does pop up.
Does it?
Yep.
Man. Going places.
We're on all these platforms that do their search engine optimization, SEOs.
And if you have any immediate questions, here is Zach's cell phone number. 555-5555.
Yep. 5. Yep. Might get Dave Chappelle on the line, but anyway.
Extension 5555.
Yep. Thanks for listening, guys, and check back next week for another episode of Jumbled Podcast.
What are you doing? Is it over?